Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. That's right. That's right. Your eyes are not deceiving you. I have returned. Embrace it. Just sit here and soak this in. Oh yeah. It feels good, man. It feels real good. Oof. Oh man. I'm just gonna skip right to the end. We're just gonna skip right to the end. Yeah, baby. Look at that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful change. Oh, it feels good. Woo! I mean, it's the shit factions got nerfed too, which is even better. Like the Ravagers got gutted, so they're balanced now. Chaos Cult got gutted, so they're balanced now. But baby, I don't even give a fuck, because we got this change right here. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not exactly sure this is enough. I think music feels a bit loud right now. I was just so excited. I was just so really hoping that they would get 9 wounds, but I mean 8 wounds, that's doable. The change to the Thane is probably the best change to the whole team. The plasma knife is weird. I did not expect that to happen. That's interesting. So, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. All right. First of all, we'll come back to this. All right. I just want to address my community because we've jumped up and like, oh my god, we're what 430 follower or subscribers now to my channel. We're jumping up a lot. This channel's not dead, guys. I want you to know. We're not dead. I have been on a hiatus. I'm going to be honest. Just a lot of stuff happened this summer. You know, I've talked about it on my channel, like with my kid. So I've been like raising a baby, but like things have kind of settled down. I've been really hyped for 40K, so I've been kind of focused on that this past month too. And I'm having a lot of fun with 40K now that like things have kind of balanced out a little bit, and I'm not gonna lie, I've played Eldar, so things are good. And the most important thing is I just have not been having fun playing Kill Team in the past couple months, specifically because of these two fucking factions, Chaos Cult and Hearthkin Ravagers, are really not fun to play against. The games are really boring. It's pretty much like hope you can deal enough damage with an Alpha Strike, and if you can't, you lose the game. And that's it. That's the only counterplay these two teams have. So it just like really bummed me out about Kill Team, and I was just so sick and tired of having to fight with them. Because I mean, in my local meta, there was 2 Chaos Cult players and between 2 to 3 Felgor Beastmen players at events at any given time. And this is not a big group. This is out of like 18 players or something like that. Right? Maybe it's like maybe 15 or something. So my odds of me at my local event running into both teams are pretty high. And they're also a really popular team in online events. So the odds of me running into them in an online event or a pickup game were also pretty fair. I also tried playing Chaos Cult in the latest Command Point event, and I got so bored in my games that I actually just dropped the event. And I don't like to drop events, but God, I hate that team. So I'm very excited about this. This kind of just reinvigorated my drive into playing Kill Team. In addition to the fact that we're gonna have 2 really fucking interesting teams coming out next month. I mean, it's all but confirmed that Striking Scorpions are coming out, and my homeboy Karandras was up in like some community article, so apparently he's coming out too, which I am hyped for, man. Because Striking Scorpions are hands down my favorite aspect for Craftable Deldar, and Karandras is like obviously my favorite Phoenix Lord also, because he's just so badass. Like, how could you not like the guy? He's fucking Predator. Anyways, so I'm really hyped about that. I think like scouts or something are coming in the Kill Team also, which I mean I shouldn't downplay them because they're gonna be cool too. Like Primera scouts sound really cool and really interesting. So yeah, I'm getting hyped for Kill Team again. So let's talk about this. All right. So some random shit happens. I don't think there's any changes here. I think Pathfinders are still... Okay, so Pathfinders got an interesting change. So add the following to the Kalyan Art of War ability. In addition, once in each of their activations, friendly Pathfinders can perform a mission or pick up action for 1 less AP. So that's really cool. I don't know how useful that is, because like Tau are already pretty good at mission play as is. Like they play recon. You have the commander ability that does this. And you kind of need Montka to even like get your missions done in the first place or get like board positioning. So I don't know. Like it's an interesting upgrade, but I don't really see it being beneficial. Close quarter change though. Each time friendly Pathfinder operative perform a guard action while it is in conceal, if it does... Wait, what? Each friendly operative can perform the guard action while they're concealed. If it does, interrupt as normal, but instead of making a guard action, it can perform a marker light action. Huh. Huh. That, does that even do anything? Like, what the fuck? It performs a marker light. I guess. Like, I don't see that really affecting things. I think Tau still suck, in close quarters. Commandos doesn't look like they changed. Legionnaire doesn't look like they changed. Corsairs doesn't look like they changed. Phobos Strike Team can use deadly shots. I don't think that changed. Reavers still have that. Okay. Guerrilla Warfare strategize actions changed to 3 inches instead of 6. Was that a thing before? I can't remember if that was a thing before. Maybe I think maybe that was a change before. Okay. Warp Coven. It looks like they added something here. If it does not perform, it can perform. Okay, that hasn't changed. Change APL characteristics to 3 and change attacks characteristics of the fist to 4. Okay, none of that changed. That's narrative shit. No one cares about that. Archetypes. Recon and security regardless of operative selected. Thank fuck, man. Oh my god. Finally you're not locked into security when you take rubrics. So this was the only thing that was holding rubrics back, to be honest. Because the buffs that Rubrics had, I think this was like 2 balanced data slates ago, the thing that gave them APL 3. That is really good, right? This actually opens up Rubrics to actually being able to do recon. You might think like, well, Austin, what are you talking about, man? How the fuck are Rubrics supposed to do recon? They can only move 6 inches during their activation. Well, shut up. Because obviously you're still going to take some Zangors, but you're not going to take that many Zangors. What this opens up is now you can go like 3 Sorcerers, a Scarab Cult, or not a Scarab Cult, the Soul Reaper Cannon, for example, and then like a smattering of Zangors, and you're not going to get fucked by that, right? You're not locked into security, because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I know people play security. I hate security. I think security is a trash tac op. It's very easy to shut down from your opponent. It's like there's a lot of like end of game scoring parts to it. Protect assets is a terrible tac op. I think it needs to completely be replaced, and I hope it gets replaced. I'm trying to think what else. Central control, like they need to bring back the old central control. Like the new central control sucks. Like you can't score it until turn 2, and it's like, dude, your opponent's already gonna have a guy within range to like counter that by turn 2, and it's God, I hate it. It's such a win more archetype, because like if you're getting fucked in a game, a kill team, you're not scoring your tac ops for security. It's just not happening. Like the only time you're going to be scoring your security tac ops is if you're playing a really aggressive team and you're ahead, right? That's the only time you're going to max security. Anyways, rant over. Good change. I actually think this puts Warp Coven into a top tier team. Because they're doing pretty good right now, and they're good into a lot of the teams in the meta right now. And so the only thing that it was, in my opinion, kind of holding them back was the fact that they were locked into security. And Recon is like, where I said security was like shit tier, Recon's like S tier as far as tac ops is concerned. All right, let's continue. Geller Pox. Doesn't look like anything changed there. Lucian Starstrider. Thank fuck they didn't remove the poor guy's relentless autocannon again. Starstriders are a great team. I think they're super, super good right now. And I think the main nerf that happened to them back like when they were OP and they got nerfed, it wasn't actually the support assets. And I said this at the time. This was the biggest change to the team. When he lost Relentless, that he became useless. Like, this guy's rotary cannon is trash without Relentless. But then, now that you have Relentless again, now you have a threat. That's like, dude, who gives a shit about the fucking support assets? Like, they're still fine at Ballistic Steel 4. The blast weapons. Like, it's great the Archaeotech beams at BS3, but, like, the blast weapons are fine at 4. But this is what makes this team good, is the Relentless rotary cannon. I know this change happened before, but, you know, I never really talked about the previous balance data slate, so... Alright, Hunter Clade, doesn't look like anything changed there. Games Workshop still refuses to touch Void Dancer Troop for whatever fucking reason. You know, I know there's some clown apologists that watch this channel because you've commented on my videos before. I fucking hate Void Dancer Troop. I want this team to get nerfed to the point where it's unplayable. And you know what? If that offends you, I'm sorry. But this team is such a horrible experience to play against. It doesn't even matter if they're OP. It's just like... It's so shit playing against a team. Because playing against them is just such a frustrating thing. Because, like, they all have fly. They can all kill a Space Marine in melee. They outnumber Space Marines. Their shooting's really good. Their melee's insane. It's still really fucking hard to kill them. Like, despite them being an elf team, they're still one of the most durable teams in the game. Oh my god. I don't want to rant on Void Dancer, but I hate this team, and I want them to be nerfed. I want them to be nerfed so bad. All right, dogs. It doesn't look like they changed it all. I don't think anything changed for Hyrotech. It sure would be nice if they talked about all the changes, right? Wait. No, the cryptic actions. Change all instances of... No, okay. I thought they changed the wording there. Breachers. Doesn't look like they changed anything for breachers. Intercession... I don't know. Their intercession's still Space Marines, so... Kazarkins. Doesn't look like anything changed there. Exaction Squad. Each time a friendly operative with this ability makes a shooting attack with a weapon that doesn't have the blast rule or grenade special. That got added in. I don't think that was in there before, but I'm just trying to think, like, Exaction Squad doesn't have any blast weapons that... The only blast weapon the team has access to is the frag grenade, right? There's no other blast weapons. The only reason I could think them adding this in is for Inquisition, because Inquisition can take the plasma cannon. And so Inquisition changes all the keywords for this. So instead of Exaction Squad operative, it would be Inquisition operative. But no, that doesn't make sense because the plasma cannon doesn't have ruthless efficiency. I don't know why they felt it necessary to add the blast special rule. Because, I mean, it has grenade. Unless, like... No, the Weber doesn't have blast. Yeah, I'm really confused why they added that. But it is what it is. Yeah, so none of that's changed. Alright, let's talk about Hearthkin Salvagers now. I hated... I hated this change with the plus 1 inch to movement. I thought that was a really clunky move. I mean, it's better than nothing, right? 5 inches is obviously better than 4, but the way they changed this actually made it really clunky because now you lose movement when you're injured, which is kind of shit. In your charge, you lose movement on your charge now. So that really sucks because, like, it's really easy to injure Hearthkin. I mean, now that they're 8 wounds, it's not as easy, but I mean, 8 wounds is like doesn't make you that durable. I wish what they would have done instead is maybe kept the extra triangle of movement, but just said their movement can't be modified. I think that still would have been better. Because they're such a slow team already that it would have been nice. Anyways, moving on. Plus 1 wounds. So here's my thoughts on this. Thank fuck. But also, it's not enough. I think this is not enough to make this team a good team. I think they're probably like bad Kazarkin now. I think they're playable now for sure, but here's the thing, right? Previously there were 7 wounds, which meant bolters will kill them if they shoot. If you're firing a model that has a decent bolter, it'll kill them. Right? And now that's not the case, but there's still a pretty good chance of weapons killing them because of 8 wounds, right? If you think off the top of your head, like which teams that have 8 wounds are like pretty durable, you think of like Clowns and you think of Hand of the Archon, right? So why are those teams durable with 8 wounds when teams like Corsairs, for example, are not? Well, the answer is Archon has a feel no pain, so it changes the math. They actually become 9 to 10 wounds, and Clowns have a lot of dice manipulation with prismatic blur and I think it's tragedy that they can auto retain. And they have a 4-up invulnerable save. So Clowns can make it so they can easily pass saves, and Archon realistically is like 9 or 10 wounds, right? Other 8 wound teams like, Exaction Squad, Kazarkin, and now Hearthkin, they're still going to be pretty fragile. Now, Hearthkin are pretty interesting because they do have durability stuff, but like a lot of it's tied to stratagem use. So I feel like they should have been 9. But regardless, let's move on. Hearthkin Field Medic gains lethal 5, and we can just combo this with the Plasma Knife is now 2 EP, and you get 4 attacks with it, and it's lethal 5 also. So this is a weird change because like this team's not really a melee team at all, but now realistically, I mean, you're probably going to be taking Lugger every game now. And the reason for that is your guy, like basically every model is equipped with a power weapon now. So that's pretty interesting. I think this actually completely changes how the team plays. Because previously the team was like a really defensive team that you would bunker up and you would be spamming your, what's it called? The bolster. I think it's bolster defenses. And basically what that does is it changes like a light terrain to heavy. And you'd be kind of focused around building your bunker, maybe even having 2 bunkers. And it kind of played into why the team was bad because they couldn't push out because there were 7 wounds, so they kind of died to like any shooting going into them. And so you're forced into this bunker play, and what ends up happening is your opponent just gets free reign of the map. And more often than not, like I actually don't get tabled very often when I'm playing Hearthkin Salvagers. What really happens is I'll get pushed down to like 6 or 7 operatives, and all of my forward deploying operatives, or like my aggressive operatives, like the jump pack guy, usually the medic, the grenadier, those guys that like I can afford to lose, they'll all be dead. And I'll just have like my gunners, my comms, my locator, my thane, like those dudes. And they can't push out onto the objectives because they can't survive. They can't like push out into melee because they will die in melee, because usually like 2 hits will kill them and they don't do shit in melee. And it leads to a really frustrating experience. But now with this Plasma Knife, it means like comboed with the fact that you're 8 wounds now, so you can move out onto objectives in the midfield. You can actually like, I wouldn't say you can play aggressively, but you can move out in the midfield now and not worried about just instantly dying to random crap, right? So that is an interesting change. I did not expect the Plasma Knife change, but I like it. I like it. Alright, change the Thane's Eye of the Ancestors ability to once in each strategy phase. When you use a strategic ploy or pass, you can select 1 enemy operative to gain a grudge token instead, or 2 enemy operatives if 3 or more friendly Hearthkin Salvager operatives are incapacitated. So this is so great for 2 reasons. First of all, the obvious one, it's not tied to the Thane's activation now, which was so goddamn irritating because it meant if you want to actually get judgment tokens, you have to play this game of like trying to like set up these angles for your Thane to get visibility on like specific operatives, but still more often than not, like you're not able to put it on the operatives that you want to put it on. It's usually going to be hitting your opponent's forward deploying operatives, and like it always means your Thane has to be like the first guy to activate in the turn, which is also really annoying and crippling. So it was just a really clunky mechanic. So it's really great that moved to the strategic play phase, because you don't have to, it's not tied to the Thane's activation now. The other thing that's really great about it is you don't need visibility now. You just select an enemy operative and you put a grudge token on, because it's like the Thane's not a fast guy, right? It's really hard to set up these angles to get visibility and put a grudge token on somebody. And so now he's not tied to trying to set these angles up, because he's your fourth gunner on the team. So it's really important that like he's trying to push out damage and get kills. So that's really great that they did that. It's interesting that they made it so if you lose 3 guys, you get to put 2 tokens down. Yeah, I mean that's cool. I never really had that much trouble with grudge tokens being placed down, but I'll accept it. So overall, I think this team is a really interesting team now, and I'm very eager to play them. And in fact, I'm going to be playing a game tonight with them, because I'm so excited to play them. So yeah, very, very excited about this. So moving on. My chat is just exploding with people talking about this balanced Dataslate. Anyways, Felgor Ravagers. Fuck this team. I'm so glad that they're nerfed. I hate this team. I hate the concept of this team. I hate everything about this team, and I'm so glad they got absolutely haymakered into the ground. So, incapacitating a Felgor Ravager operative with a Frenzy token. Add the following bullet point. Critical damage is inflicted on it in a shooting attack. So, this is, like, massive. Previously, Felgor were just completely immune to shooting attacks, which was really dumb and made no sense. Now that's not the case. Now, anything that has mortal wounds on a critical hit will kill them. So, that's pretty cool. Like, if you have a sniper, or if you have, like, I mean, whatever, with, like, lethal 5 and mortal wounds or something, like, if you just inflict a mortal wound, you just kill them, which is great. Or, obviously, if you get a critical hit going through, but the mortal wounds are really easy to generate, because a lot of teams have some kind of weapon that does that, like mortal wound 2 or something. So it's great that they did that. The other thing is when they're frenzied, they're ignored for the purposes of controlling objective markers. I think this is a pretty elegant change, because I would have been way harsher on this team. I would have said that they're ineligible to be scoring tac ops, as well as for the purposes of damage control. So I think this is probably the better thing to do. I think maybe that my opinion would be a little bit too harsh, but yeah, it's great. It's really dumb that your Felgor beastmen like run out and kill a guy on an objective and take control of the objective, right? I run a guy out to try and kill that beastman. I get smacked by him, and like I go down to half health, for example, with my guy, and I kill the beastman and frenzy him, but he doesn't die. So like the turning point ends with me with an operative on half health, the beastman controlling the objective, or at least contesting the objective, and on frenzy, so next turn he can activate and kill my guy. So basically he shuts down the objective and kills 2 of my models, and there's nothing I can do about it. which was really frustrating and led to like why I hate Beastmen, but I think a lot of other people hate Beastmen as well. So that just prevents that from happening, which it makes the game more fun and interesting to play. All right, Chaos Cult, Icon Arc. So it looks like they turned all of his auras into abilities. Yeah. They just made him less efficient. One thing this specifically shuts down that I really want to highlight is it prevents him from moving up and just nuking something with his flamer. Because if he gets within 4 inches, he increases the damage on his flamer, and I think it goes to 3-4, and his flamer has 6 shots. So pretty much like, if you're, I mean, this can even kill Space Marines, but like basically if you weren't a Space Marine and this guy was walking up and flaming you, he's probably killing whatever he hits. And it's Torrent, so it's like you could set up a play where you just kill like 3 models of Torrent with a 3-4-6 attack flamer. So they shut that down. So he's now more of a support piece now, which is where he should have been. He shouldn't have been an offensive tool for this team. So it's good that was changed. So going on to the mutants and torments, this is one of the chief complaints. I think everybody was saying this needed to happen, going to 6-up Feel No Pain. The team, it's like, dude, like, if you get 2 torments in your drop zone on like turn 2, I think turn 2 it's doable to get 2 torments in your drop zone. If you mutate a if you mutate a zombie on turn 1, right? Because turn 1 you mutate a guy, and then you use your leader to mutate a guy, and then turn 2 you just mutate 2 mutants into torments. So it's super easy, right? You pretty much lose the game when that happens as your opponent, because it takes so much effort to kill those torments, because more often than not, like, if the Chaos Cult player is playing correctly, those 2 torments have a 5-up invulnerable save. So like AP weapons are useless on them. They're usually going to be activating Sickening Aura, so it's like they have a 2-inch injury aura around them. They can't be injured themselves. They ignore injuries. So it's like, it just sucks, man. It sucks big time. So going to a 6-up Feel No Pain is better, because now, like, you're still gonna have 2 torments get thrown on your face on turn 2, but like, that's okay. That's okay, because you can at least have a chance of killing them now with a 5-up Feel No Pain at 13 wounds. Like, they become insanely durable, but with like a 6-up Feel No Pain, like, you're realistically dealing with an Assault Intercessor at that point. Like, they go to like 15 to 16 wounds, essentially, instead of something insane like 20. So that's better. That's better. Sickening Aura, while within 2 inches of a friendly mutant or torment. Oh, okay. So they nerfed it. So the I forget what they're called. The Dark Disciples. Is that what they're called? Yeah, I think it's the Dark Disciples. They don't give that aura anymore, which, yeah, I mean, I think that's mostly a nerf with the Icon Arc, because like I said, that guy was being used really aggressively, so now he can't do that. And then the last change is mutants no longer have Relentless, so they have Ceaseless. So this is another thing, is like, just mutants were just too efficient for what they were, because it's like, you're going to be spending all your big stuff to take down these torments, right? And torments are horrible to deal with, but like, it's also really frustrating with mutants, because they have such an efficient profile. There were 7 wounds, 5 up, feel no pain, relentless 3/4 attacks, and I want to say they were rending too, but that might be wrong. Maybe it's just the torments that are rending. But they just pushed out way too much damage than they should have any right of doing. So I think these are really good changes. I think both of these teams are balanced after these changes. Let's move on to Inquisitorial Agents. So I am really happy with this change because I do think Inquisitorial Agents were broken, but I'm glad that Games Workshop didn't do the knee-jerk reaction and change how the team plays. They instead approach the stuff that you're kind of the abuse that this team can do. So operative selection, you can only select 2 guns that are AP2. So they basically got the Dark Light rule that Archon has. So you can't select more than 2 AP2 guns. So previously what they could do is they could take the plasma pistol on the gunner for agents. They could take the plasma cannon, and then they could go vet guard and go a plasma gun and a melt-a-gun. So it's you have 4 operatives on the team with AP2 weapons, and playing against elite teams was a joke because you're fighting vet guard or Kazarkin, right? And if you're playing Space Marines, and it's if they're running vet guard, they have the demo mine, they have a plasma gun, they have a melt gun, they have a plasma pistol person, and they have a plasma cannon. So it's almost half the operatives on their team can one-shot a Space Marine. So it's if they just play the trading game, you'll never win with an elite team. So it's good that they did that. I think I have no problem with this because honestly, 99% of the time when I was playing Inquisitorial Agents, I was running Breachers. And I still think Breachers are the best agents. They're so fucking good, man. I've ran a Zaxxon squad twice now with them, actually. Once, prior to the buffs, I ran them into Felgor Ravagers and did really well. I think I still lost the game by 1 point. And then I played the team post buff, and the changes with Exaction's really good. I actually think Exaction's pretty solid with Inquisition now. So what I think is going to happen with this change is, Vet Guard just switches their melt-a-gun to a grenade launcher or sniper rifle, which I think good players were kind of doing that already. And then Kazarkin does the same, and then most players just play Breachers again, because that's the way to go. So, yeah. You just take the Las Volley. The Las Volley is really, really good. I would take that over the Plasma Gun, honestly. Alright. Interrogator and Tome Skull operatives. So they group activate now. And the reason for this is to cut down on the team's activations, because they had too many single activation guys. And especially if you factor in the fact that I think they intended on players taking some trooper operatives with some of the ancillary, but why would you ever do that? If I'm playing Vet Guard, why would I take troopers? I can take the specialists who are really good and have good abilities. Breachers, same thing. Why would I take armsmen when I take the specialists who are all really good? So it's I think they realize this and they're oh wait, shit, this team has 12 to 13 activations, which pretty much out-activates every team in the game. Except for the other big Horde teams, right? And even the big Horde teams, I think Vet Guard has 11 activations, if I'm not mistaken. Pathfinders have 10 now. No, I think they're still at 11. Yeah, so even most of the big Horde teams are still around 10 or 11 activations. So all this means is they go down to 11 or 12 activations respectively, which is great. Or no, it's 10 or 11 activations now, right? Because 7 plus 5. I'm good at math. 7 plus 5 is 12. 7 plus 6 is 13. So yeah, it's 11 or 12 activations now. So I think that's good. Nice change. Honestly, it kind of makes sense that they would GA together, because they're kind of like the same model. It's kind of like a weird relationship those two models have, but yeah, I like the change. Absolute Authority was probably the major problem with this team, because like there's teams in the game that literally don't function if you take away their strat. Perfect example would be Hyrotech Circle, right? If you take away their reanimation strat, the team just falls on its face. Like, it dies so fast. Orc Commandos are another example. You take away just a scratch for Orc Commandos, and all of a sudden their guys become like extremely fragile, and they just fall over to like anything, right? So it gave the Inquisition player like there was just no challenges in those matchups, and it's good that this happened. I actually really like the change they did to Absolute Authority, because I thought what they were going to do is make it once per game. And I thought that would have been fine. What they did instead is you can't use it on 0 CP strats, which is really cool. And you can't use it on the same ploy more than once per battle. So, like, you can't spam it on just a scratch now. You can still use it on it, but you can't use it every turn. And you can't shut down, like, the strat. Like, 0 CP strats are always strats that, like, a team needs to be doing. Like, the Games Workshop looked at the team and went, these guys need to be using this strat every single turn, no matter what. So we're going to make this 0 CP to not put strain on the player because they need to be using this strat. We're not punishing the player for playing the team, basically. So kudos. I think these are all great changes. I think the Hearthkin Salvagers... So I think they need one more thing added to the team. I would have liked to see them go to 9 wounds, but I think 8's doable. But they need one more thing added to the team, in my opinion. I think grudge tokens need to be changed just a little bit. I think they need to do what they do already, so upgrade a hit to a crit, and also have another option, that is upgrading a miss to a hit. So it's either you could do a hit to a crit or a miss to a hit per grudge token. And I think if they did that, I think they would need to like put a limit on the stacking for grudge tokens, and do so like you can't have more than 2 grudge tokens on an enemy operative, right? I think if they did that, I think the team would be fine. And I really wish they would do that, because right now my problem with Salvagers, one was their durability, another was their mobility, and then the last like kind of gripe point that I have is they have really good shooting, but it's not consistent. So like some games you'll play where you just don't miss your attacks, and you'll just murder shit. Like you kill stuff so fast, and you're like, wow, this team's actually pretty good at shooting. And then you'll play another game, and you're just like, okay, none of my stuff hit, and I got a crit and a hit, and my opponent saved the hit, so I do like 4 damage to something. And it's like, what the fuck? How do I ever kill anything? So I want that to change, but I think the team is playable now. So overall, I'm going to conclude this. The team is really, the balance changes. I love it. I think this is a really good sweeping change. I love seeing Warp Coven get adjusted. I think these guys are pretty interesting now, and I think I might actually pull them out and play them in some games. Star Striders, I mean, they didn't get changed this thing, but they're another really cool team. There's so many cool teams I want to be playing right now. this just makes Kill Team fun again. Honestly, like if I could summarize it, the entire balanced data slate into one sentence is Kill Team is fun again. So I'm really excited. I hope you guys get out and play some games, play some teams with the changes, and tell me how you find these changes. But I think the game's in a really, really just chef's kiss spot right now. It's absolutely glorious. Anyways, guys, so I'm back. We're gonna be making videos again. My next video is going to be a tier list. I'm going to be talking about the tier list post balance change, so look forward to that. Probably I'm going to be posting this like as soon as I upload it, so it's going to be coming out today probably. And then probably we're going to be getting a Hearthkin Salvagers game this week, and playing with them and kind of seeing how things go. So looking forward to doing that, and I will see you guys next time.